It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. And now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? Showtime! Geno Jones Showtime. Yes, I'm here. I am here live. It is Wednesday. Correction. Because the weekend we're trying to get to the weekend, right? It is Wednesday on my radio show. I call it a Working Divas Wednesday. The Geno Jones Show brought to you by Kojo LLC. Courtney Johnson, if you're looking to buy a home, sell a home, you need to get some advice, guidance on what you need to do to buy or sell a home, or if your business needs insurance, she is an expert in real estate and a business expert when it comes to business insurance, that is, commercial insurance. So, KojoLLC.com, that's COJOLLC.com. Tomorrow, the return of Courtney's Corner. And Courtney is coming to her corner with a guest in her corner. So we had a lot to talk about tomorrow. It'll be a lot of fun. Thank you, everybody, watching me live once again. Please leave your comments in my comment section below. Watching me live, join the conversation. Start the conversation here in my chat room right here. Geno Jones, there you go. As a matter of fact, I see folks, everybody's tuning in now. So start the conversation or join it. If you're watching me, say hi. Let me shout you out. Let me know where you are, where you're watching, where you live, where you're from. If there's somebody else you want me to shout out, birthday, a shout out to, you know what? I'm not going to guess. I got a buddy of mine, Lucas Swing. Shout out to you, dude. Happy birthday to my dude, Lucas Swing. And happy birthday to CJ Matthews. Chris Jr., CJ Matthews. My little adopted nephew, young man. I'm so proud of him. His mom, Kristen Wright Matthews. You know how you got sisters and family you adopt. Not legally, but you understand what I'm saying. And his dad, Big Chris. CJ, watch that kid grow up. Him and Allie are 5 years apart, basically. He's 18 today. CJ, oh my God. Dude, where has the time gone? Kristen, Pookie, where's the time gone, sis? Chris, Big Chris, man, your son, your firstborn is growing up. So everybody else celebrating a birthday today, happy birthday. I want to definitely shout you out. And once again, everybody watching live, if you want me to shout somebody's birthday or anniversary or whatever it is and you're watching me live, go ahead, jump in that chat room. Or even leave a comment in the comment section. And if I don't get it today, I'll shout them out tomorrow because we got a live show Thursday. Friday, a very special show. So on Thursday, Courtney's Corner, she returns the sponsor of the Geno Jones Show with a guest in Courtney's Corner. And Friday, my guest co-host, Miss K-Love, Christy K-Love Baxter. So K-Love has got another. So I have two guest co-hosts, Lauren Lovey Smith. So Miss Lovey and K-Love. So it's going to be a lot of love going on. We got K-Love and Lovey, along with yours truly, your man, Geno. We're going to have Michael Jackson's birthday is on Friday, August 29th. He would have been 67. And Friday marks the I don't want to call it an anniversary. So Friday marks 20 years to the day that Hurricane Katrina hit the United States. And it really tore the Gulf part of Mississippi, down on the Gulf. And now it hit New Orleans, but it wasn't the storm surge like in parts of coastal Mississippi. It was the storm surge that devastated. It wasn't so much the storm surge as it was the levees in New Orleans that broke. And if you look at that Spike Lee documentary called How the Levees Broke, some folks say, oh, that wasn't by accident. They wanted to get those black folks out of those neighborhoods, like the Ninth Ward and the neighborhoods, where some of those neighborhoods still have not been rebuilt, that were predominantly black neighborhoods. So that's a whole different conversation. But we'll cover that on Friday. First of all, shout out to Coco Golf. superstar. As a matter of fact, she won the U.S. Open. So the U.S. Open Tennis Championship is going on now in New York, suburban New York City, Flushing Meadows. Coco Gauff, she won the U.S. Open in 2023. I think she was like 19. So she had her first match a couple nights ago. So it was a struggle. She won. She's got a new swing coach. So big shout out to Coco Gauff. Coco, you know, I am standing 10 toes down, supporting you. The culture, the community, you know, we are always going to stand 10 toes down, supporting you, young sister. I'm really proud of you. And shout out to Venus Williams. So she played in the U.S. Open. She played great. She did not win, but she took her match to like 3 sets. Now, she did this at 45, and Venus has had health challenges. I know she talked about several years ago, she had this autoimmune condition called Sjogren's syndrome, and then I think she's had some other health challenges, but shout out to Venus. It was just good to see her. She looks like she's in great shape, 45. Tennis is a young person's sport. It really is. You got to have young legs, the peak of your athletic. Usually the athletic peak for people, for humans, is right around 28. Like 28 is that, if you had to find that number, that sweet spot, it's usually right around 28, 27, really from 27 to like 29. Sometimes folks at 30, they tail off, some don't. But 28 is the number where they say you are at your maximum peak power physically, especially as an athlete. So to be doing that at 45, and she was playing somebody half her age, at least half her age or younger. So shout out to you, Venus Williams. So, all right, so I got to shout out my daughter, Allie Jones. Allie Jones, she's not home now. So Allie sent me a video, and I don't have, because I tried to pull it back up. We were having a conversation, and talking to Allie is like talking to myself. She might be the only person on the planet that I can't out-talk, or at least she matches my energy, it matches me. It's like myself in a 23-year-old woman's body. I'm just, it's like I'm talking to myself. And it's amazing. So parents, if one of your children, son or daughter, has got so much of you and certain parts of your DNA and your personality, to where it's like you all can, we don't like clash and butt heads. Now she may say that because she's like, yeah, I don't get it. And we communicate differently. She communicates like her mom. I'm a storyteller. She's like, give it to me in like small bites, like a headline. She's like, my attention span is not long, so you gotta give it to her like a headline. But some things have nuance, and you want to just, I don't want to just give you the headlines, because you won't really understand the full breadth and depth of the story. But not being the most patient person, and I used to be like that. Her mom is like that too. So poor thing, she got it from both sides. But as a matter of fact, Allie and her sister Boogie, they taught me patience, because I wasn't the most patient person. Now mommy still ain't. Well, let's put it this way. She may be a little more patient with them than me. But that's a whole different monologue and a whole different show. So we're not going to open up that Pandora's box. But anyway, so I want to shout Allie out, because we were talking about ways to protest this cult and this dictatorship and the racism and the bigotry, the hate, the division, the misogyny, the sexism. All of it is kind of balled up in one big thing of hate. So we talked about that. And she was talking about there are multiple ways, which is true. There are really multiple ways to protest. And I just talked about the power of our dollars, which is so important. That our money, the way to get people's attention with money and power, is to start digging in their pockets. Just ask Target. Ask the former CEO of Target. All right? You're going to ask him. As a matter of fact, just ask the shareholders of Target. Are you a Target shareholder? Do you understand that the value of your stock 12 years ago is a lot less? As a matter of fact, the company lost value. It's called, the term is valuation in the stock market, in the financial word. So this company's valuation target is $12 billion less today, 8 months later, than it was in January. So that means that this target is worth $12 billion less today than it was back in January. And if you have stock in Target, you know that, because you look like, what my stock, the value of my stock in January is not what it is now. And it was really over two things. $2 billion that they had verbally committed to supporting programs that enhance diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI, and supporting more black-owned businesses, because they were supporting some black-owned businesses. I think, what's the sister? Tabitha Smith, I think that's her name. She had still has a big social media presence. You've seen the sister, really positive, happy sister. But anyway, so because when Orange Hitler came in office, like, we're going to put all these pressure, these corporations, you better get rid of a DEI, I'll get rid of all your DEI, and we're going to do this and do that to you. And a lot of companies just they just plunked out. They just got afraid. They didn't have courage. They just bent over. A lot of them really didn't want to deal with black folks, but this happened now. Target made this commitment right after the George Floyd incident and everything that happened with that. So, and this is going on during COVID also, because George Floyd was murdered. That was at Memorial Day of 2020. So you had that whole summer, and you had protests and Black Lives Matter and everything. So Target was like, okay, and all these corporations kind of felt like guilt to see that level of racism and hatred, evil on camera, to put its knee on somebody's neck for 9.5 minutes and literally squeeze and choke the life out of a man, and it was caught on video. So Target had made this commitment, and they made a $2 billion commitment. So in January, Orange Hitler gets in office, they pulled the commitment. So folks is like, man, black folks love it. As a matter of fact, we learned that black Americans were spending back in January, right before this boycott started, $12 million a day. Black Americans were spending $12 million a day in Target. Now, I don't know no black-owned businesses. I could be wrong, so if you all got the receipts and the numbers, let me know, because I've been trying to find out. What black-owned business in America makes $12 million a day? I don't know. Who? You just name the black-owned business. I don't know no black-owned businesses in this country that's making $12 million a day. And that's another conversation, because we got to shift the way we spend our money. We got to, as my grandmother said, don't beg nobody to take your money. And as my grandfather said, put valuation. So he actually came up with this word, but I don't know when they came up with the word on Wall Street, but my grandfather, as a little boy, he used to say, Jeannie, put valuation on people that value you. So guess it was, because now the financial word, valuation, is a term, which is just the value of your company. So he would say, put valuation on people that value you, which means value people that value you, and show them you value them with your action and your behavior. If they show you they value you with their action and behavior. So Target was showing black folks that, we don't value you. And the commitment, the verbal public commitment that they made is like, nah. It's like, oh, this is what we doing? And black folks have been this loyal to Target? We spend $12 million a day? When we don't even, there's no black-owned business in America on record. You find that information, you show me, where black Americans spend $12 million a day, every day, in one store. That's what was happening with Target, till it wasn't, and it's not happening now. And the CEO basically got fired and moved him to some other position in Target. Yeah. So we can do it to Target. We can do it to anybody. We control over $2 trillion with a T, $2 trillion in spending power. Just black people in America. That's a whole lot of money. And if we move collectively, and it's not going to be each and every one. You got some folks you got the anti-black folks, the black MAGA that's anti-black, that hate themselves, which means they hate us because they hate themselves, and they think that engaging in this anti-blackness, which is racism, viewing black people as a racist way, which is like you view yourself, because, dude, just because you kissing MAGA's ass, wearing that red hat, you still black. And they will flip on your ass and turn on you instantly if you are not bowing and bending over and bowing to them and kissing their ass and letting them treat you like less than human. Long as you're willing to be humiliated and to go along with the hatred and to amplify the racism and the bigotry that they say, because they love it when they can find a black person that says all the racist things that a white person wants to say. But now a lot of the white people, because with Orange Hitler in office, they're not afraid. They're saying the racist stuff and doing the racist stuff with pride, on camera, on video, live streaming. But when they can find a black person that engages in that racism, that says those racist, ignorant ass statements and makes those racist, just refers and uses those racist tropes. A trope is just like, well, all black people eat fried chicken, when white folks eat a lot of fried chicken. Well, black folks are lazy. We're the hardest working folks. We built it. Who do you think, who was working on these plantations when they were enslaved? Who were growing, planting, and harvesting cotton and tobacco and sugar canes in Louisiana, indigo in the Carolinas and South Carolina? I could go on. Europeans came over here, they didn't know how to grow shit. They would have starved to death if it wasn't for the Native Americans when a lot of those colonizers first got here in the 18th century, the 1700s, this whole Thanksgiving concept. And then the way to show that the Native Americans, that they valued basically saving these pilgrims from starving to death, was to engage in genocide, was to damn near kill off all the Native Americans here in America, and then put them on reservations and give them blankets with smallpox disease. So that's a whole nother monologue. I've given that monologue many times. So I'm saying, my point is, when they can find a black person who says all the racist things and engages and regurgitates and recites and repeats these racist stereotypes and tropes, or just ideas to break it down. Oh, when they can get a black person to, yeah, mama, oh, look at them N-words, master, like the dudes Stephen and Django, that my man Samuel L. Jackson played, Boss Master, who's that N-word, who's that nig? When Jamie Foxx's character was coming to come to the plantation in Django. Oh yeah, you got some black folks that look at white folks. Look at them nigs. They lazy and they criminal. All the racist, ignorant stuff that those racist white folks say about black folks, which they're really projecting, saying about themselves. Who's the most violent? There's no group of people on the planet more violent than these Europeans. The majority of the wars in the history of humanity have been between Europeans, either Europeans that came to other countries like America or over in Europe. Europeans came, stole the land from the Native Americans, damn near committed genocide, almost exterminated the entire population, stole African Americans, brought them here against their will, lynched, murdered, raped, stripped them of their freedom. And then once legally we got freedom, they remixed the laws and created a whole new set of laws to oppress an entire race of people, Black Americans, that was so insidious that not only did Nazi Germany use the same Jim Crow laws as a blueprint to oppress Jews in Germany, the South Africans who came from the Netherlands, the Dutch, did the same, took America's Jim Crow laws and used them as a blueprint to create the South African apartheid laws, which said that black people were second-class citizens, that they had basically no rights, that white people had to respect or obey, that you didn't have the same rights. You weren't as human. You weren't even human at all. So miss me with who's the most violent in America. The most violent act next to the Civil War was on January 6, 2021, when you had like 1,000, you had 1,000 domestic terrorists, insurrectionist criminals who tried to violently overthrow America's government, who stormed the U.S. Capitol looking to hang the current vice president at the time, Mike Pence, who were looking to murder Nancy Pelosi, Congressman Jim Clyburn, and other members of Congress, violently. And the National Guard was never called by the dude who was in the White House at the time. Who's that? Oh, that orange Hitler dude, that Donald J. Trump, that J stands for jackass. Him. He didn't send a National Guard. He didn't call, he sat on his hands. He sat his fat ass with probably some hamburgers or some fried food and a Diet Coke and sat there and watched these domestic terrorists engage in a violent insurrection. And you, the commander-in-chief, you didn't do a damn thing. You sat your fat ass and looked at it on Fox News. Okay? So miss me with violence, and don't talk about Baltimore or Chicago or New York or Newark or Atlanta or Oakland or LA. Because the sending of the National Guard, and I told everybody for almost 3 years, it was in Project 2025. He wants to militarize the police. They said it. They said the plan to militarize local law enforcement or send in the military. It didn't even take 7 months. And they didn't try to hide. They wrote it down and published it and put it online in Project 2025. So this is not about crime. They don't give a shit about crime. Crime is down, Chicago, 30, 35, 40%. Crime in Washington, D.C. at a historic low. Actually, crime in all the cities now, Baltimore, crime rate, the lowest it's been, I think, in 50 years. And so all these cities to where Orange Hitler wants to send the National Guard in that have black mayors. And you got two, actually, California's got two. Oakland's got a black woman mayor, and Mayor Karen Bass in Los Angeles. This is ironic. But the cities with the highest murder rate are in cities that are run by Republican governors and that are in states that are MAGA states that voted for Mr. MAGA, the cult leader. But I don't see him sending no National Guard to Memphis, Tennessee. Oh no, because Tennessee is a MAGA state. They voted for Little Rock, Arkansas, one of the most, right near the top. Anchorage, Alaska. And it ain't no black folks up in Anchorage, Alaska. 13 of the top cities, 13 of the, how do I want to phrase this? 13 of the top cities with the highest murder rate. Out of the top 20, 13 of those cities with the highest murder rate. As a matter of fact, the top 13 with the highest murder rate are, and no, Chicago ain't no, Chicago's not there. Nope. Baltimore's not there. DC's not there. 13 cities with the highest murder rate are run by MAGA governors. 8 of the top 10 cities with the highest murder rate, or 8 of the top 10 states with the highest murder rate, they got MAGA governors. They got MAGA Republican, because there is no more Republican Party. So, both sides, stop with the bullshit, okay? You got one side that believes in humanity at least and wants people to be able to go see a doctor, have health care, and to be able to eat and have at least some type of support, EBT, SNAP benefits, that EBT card, so you can have enough groceries, or maybe your grandmother or your mother or your father, or maybe you and your kids, because you're working 2 jobs, but they're not paying you enough because the companies, they don't want to allow you to form a union so you can make a real living wage, because you really can't even live off $15 an hour, let alone $10 an hour. And the federal minimum wage, the national minimum wage, according to the federal government, is still $7.25 an hour. You can't even be homeless on $7.25 an hour. So you got people working 2 jobs and still qualify for SNAP benefits because they're not making enough money. So the cult leader wants you to talk about crime, not his crime, not his crimes, plural. 34-time convicted felon. Convicted. New York State would have got caught up on charges trying to steal the election in Georgia. Adjudicated. That means found liable by a judge, or found liable in a civil case of sexual assault, the E. Jean Carroll case. So this man was found liable of sexual assault. As a matter of fact, the judge in that case said the evidence that he saw in court convinced them that Donald Trump had raped E. Jean Carroll. That is the judge in the E. Jean Carroll trial. The judge in that trial, that was his statement. You can find it. It's easy to find. I don't need to put a link on the bottom of the screen. You can find it real quick. You can Google or ChatGPT it. Just type it in. It'll pop right up. Adjudicated means found liable, because it was a civil trial, so there's not guilt or innocence. There is likely, more likely or not. 51%. So if there's a 51% of the chance that a jury or judge looks at the evidence and says, looks like you did it. But it doesn't have to be proven beyond a reasonable doubt, like in a criminal trial. So you were an adjudicated, found liable or guilty, because liable means guilty. Guilty is a legal term of sexually assaulting E. Jean Carroll. And the judge said that the evidence showed him you raped her. That was what the judge said. So you got this dude this charged with sexual assault, 34-time convicted felon, is always talking about crime. I want to get rid of crime. No, he don't give a shit about crime. Not at all. He wants these dumbass producers in a lot of this media, your corporate media, that they want the clicks, they want the likes, they want the views, they want the chaos, they want the train wreck. They don't give a shit about democracy. And they're afraid of this dude. So whatever he says, they're going to do it. If he said, go left, they're going to go left. Go backwards. Stand on your head. Pull your drawers down. Lick your ass. Lick his ass. Whatever he tells them to do, that's what they will do. It's a cult and a cult leader. And he wants his cult members not to pay attention of the fact that the price of your groceries. You know, your coffee has gone way up. You like avocados. If you like potato chips, that party bag that you're going to buy for Memorial Day, that maybe back around New Year's Eve was like $5.50, and it's $7.29 now, or $8, and you're like, whoa, what the hell happened? Or whatever you're buying, or you're building a home, and the price of the lumber has gone way up, and everything else. I'm going to reduce, inflation. Inflation is going up. Prices on things are still going way up. 17 million people are going to lose their health insurance, Medicaid, Obamacare. Millions of people are going to lose their SNAP benefits, family, elderly people. Do you know that nearly half of all the veterans in America receive SNAP benefits? I just learned this. Nearly half, 47%, nearly half of all the veterans have to depend on SNAP benefits. What is this country doing? Did they have to depend on SNAP? They sign up, they put their life on the line to wear the uniform, to defend the Constitution and Americans, and this little punk ass, bitch ass with bone spurs never put on the uniform, but he wants to use the men and women who got real courage and to try to turn them against their own citizens, their own family and cousins and former classmates and sorority and fraternity members and church members. That's with your little punk ass. That's what he wants to do. So this has nothing to do with crime. It is about chaos and distraction, because he don't want you to pay attention. He don't want you to realize. He don't want you to think about, after this midterm, millions of people are not going to have health insurance. Millions of people are not going to be able to eat, or not have enough to eat to even last half of the month. When you lose your SNAP benefits and that EBT card is declined, you can thank your boy Orange Hitler. The housing assistance, housing voucher, your rent goes up, thank your boy. Grocery prices going up, free breakfasts and free lunches, and it's going to be millions of MAGA cult members. Yeah, millions of you white MAGA cult members, especially rural, poor, and working class white people. Then you'll see that this whole race, this called a construct, is a con game. Race was created to divide people by a small handful of people who stood to benefit financially, politically, so they could maintain social, economic, and political power. And so they could obtain and get more economic, political, and social power. So they could get more money and power. And it is still going on. Because you've got to cut $1 trillion in money, or more, $1 trillion+ in cuts to health insurance, to Medicaid, to Obamacare, like I said, to SNAP benefits, to free breakfast, free lunch programs, housing assistance. But you gave billionaires a $2 trillion tax break, a tax cut, a $2 trillion tax cut. So he cut your grandmother's Medicaid. So when she gets kicked out of that nursing home, you can thank him. She loses her insurance, excuse me, you can thank her. Absolutely. That's why I keep my water right here. You can thank your boy, Mr. Orange Hitler. When you lose your Obamacare, or your daughter, your son loses their Medicaid, and they have epilepsy, or they have asthma or juvenile diabetes, or maybe they have a heart condition or whatever. They get a fever, but you don't have any insurance because the Medicaid insurance you had is gone. And your baby's got a fever of 105 and a rash, and you don't know what to do. Or your dad who's on oxygen every day, or maybe your mom depends on that wheelchair to get around, and that oxygen in that wheelchair is paid by Medicaid. That is what he doesn't want you to focus on, but I'm gonna make sure that you focus on it every day. Oh, and he doesn't want you to focus on the Epstein files. Release the Epstein files. Let's see the whole Epstein files. We want everybody's name. Don't matter. I don't care who the politician or entertainer or business person was, or whoever it was. I don't give it. If you're so confident, Ghislaine Maxwell, who was convicted of sex trafficking along with Jeffrey Epstein, she was in prison. They didn't move her to this little country club prison or jail, who was found guilty of sex trafficking, and the victim said that Ghislaine Maxwell engaged in the sexual assault of hundreds, at minimum hundreds of these young women, some as young as 14. So let's see whose names is in the Epstein files. Orange Hitler, tell Pam Bondi. She had them. They were on her desk. She was going to release them, and she said there was his client list. Now all of a sudden, no Epstein files, can't find them. The dog ate them. The cat peed on them. The housekeepers, the janitors came and threw them away by accident. They flew out the window when you were on 395 driving to work on the interstate. Something happened to them. They misplaced them. Just disappeared. Houdini came in and poof, be gone. Epstein files. No, they're not gone. So the cult leader wants you to talk about crime in cities that have a majority or predominantly African American population, or a large black population, and cities that have black mayors. The racism, they're not even trying to hide the racism. So be open about it. Just come, Orange Hitler. Look, I'm a racist. I don't like you Negroes. Or say the real N-word. Because he said, they're incompetent and inferior. So that's what you're saying. So don't stop there. You big, bold, what he said the other day, I can do anything I want to. No, the Constitution doesn't say that. And that's why the midterms is so important. You got to understand and for all the people that's disappointed, the Democrats ain't this and they can't message, and no, they're not two birds, two sides of the same coin. Not at all. Because if Kamala Harris would have gotten elected, your grandmother wouldn't have to worry about being kicked out of a nursing home. She wouldn't have to worry about losing Medicaid and Medicare because they're going after that, and Social Security. And if you get that EBT card, you wouldn't have to worry about it being declined pretty soon when you try to go buy groceries on the first of the month. Or you wouldn't have to worry about your son or daughter that is on the free breakfast or lunch program. They'd still be able to get that free breakfast or free lunch. Or maybe the assistance, I want to say, for the Pell Grants. The college assistance, money to help your kids go to college or that university they want to attend. See, because all that's about to go bye-bye. And it's not just going to be the black folk. It ain't going to be them niggers, them N-words. It's going to be a lot of you red hat wearing, white Christian, nationalist, fascist, racist ass. It's going to be you all. And you're going to realize that you have been hoodwinked, you've been bamboozled, you've been bullshitted, you've been led astray, you've been run amok because these white men, these billionaires, that feeds you this racist bullshit and the sexist, misogynist, anti-trans. They got you worrying about everything but who you need to be worried about and keeping your eye on. It's the billionaires that have taken your money and given it to themselves. $2 trillion. Because $8 million a day in taxpayer money that goes to Elon Musk's companies, the government contracts that he has with the federal government. So those government contracts, that contract is money that comes from you and me. You get paid tomorrow and you see FICA on your check. Well, some of that FICA is going to Elon Musk and Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, and these other billionaires. But it can't go to health insurance for Medicaid, Obamacare, free breakfast. Not just free breakfast, free lunch, housing vouchers. Can't go for that. Can't go for violence interruption programs and gun prevention programs, gun violence prevention programs. No, billions of dollars. Those billions were gone because Elon Musk needs some more money. $8 million a day is not enough. The billionaires, they needed a tax break. They got one earlier, 2016, but they need more. So we got to give them another $2 trillion in a tax break. They don't give a shit about you. MAGA, attention, white MAGA cult members, they hate you. These white billionaires, they hate you. They despise you. More so, they're just racist when it comes to black folks, but they look down upon you. Poor and working class MAGA cult members, they see you as inferior. They see you as defective. You are a peasant to them. You're like lint or a bottle cap to them. They don't care about you. And that's why they have taken all the money that you were using for social programs that you were trying to, it's the black folks. No, the majority of white people. The majority of people that's on SNAP are white Americans. Somewhere around 44, 45% of white Americans receive SNAP benefits. About somewhere in the mid-20s, maybe 27, no more than 20, probably 25, 26, 27% people on SNAP are black. A little less than 20% of people on SNAP are Hispanic, Latinos. Yes, the majority SNAP benefit recipients are poor, working class, white Americans. And the majority of them are white women with children, single moms, white, not black. No, not the welfare queen, because if there's a welfare queen, she's white and she's living in rural America, probably in a trailer park somewhere. That's not my opinion. That's the numbers. You can find them yourself. You can go online. It's easy to find. Just talk that into your chat GPT. Just talk that into Google. You can find it. All right. So this is not about sending the troops. This is not about crime. It's not about trying to end crime. It is about to create chaos so he can try to stay in control. But we're going to make sure that doesn't happen, because we're going to keep talking about people losing health insurance. 17 million people losing health insurance. I saw 4 million somewhere, maybe 4, 5, 6 million people losing SNAP benefits. People are going to die and go hungry. Like, for real, for real. This isn't just a thought experiment. Unfortunately, people are going to die of all backgrounds, including white people with their MAGA hats on, sitting around watching Fox. They're going to lose health insurance, get kicked out of nursing homes, lose Medicaid, and lose devices they need, wheelchairs, oxygen, transportation to get medical care, money for dialysis and chemotherapy, and other different treatments and infusions and things to keep them alive. The SNAP benefits that they need so they can barely have enough groceries to get them at least near the end of the month. And their grandchildren who depend on the free breakfast and free lunch programs. Yes, unfortunately, people are going to die. In the meantime, the billionaires are going to have more money and buy more yachts and more companies and have more mistresses and summer homes and vacation homes in Europe or south of France or wherever the fuck, yachts. So that's what we are going to keep talking about. And whatever you can do to protest, whatever you can do to fight back against this dictatorship, and whatever you can do, because there's strength in numbers. I will close like Big Mama did in the movie Soul Food. The movie Soul Food. She was like, you know, you don't have a lot of power when your hands are like that. I'm paraphrasing, but when you bring those fingers together and form a fist, got a lot of power. We're all we got, but we are all we need. And we got everything we need. Just ask Target. Go ask the CEO of Target. Oh, he found out. Target effed around, and the CEO and Target and the Target shareholders, they found out. We got the power, and I'm going to make sure we use it. Thank you for letting me be a part of your life, as always. Hey, Siobhan, how are you? I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to shout out everybody. I was just having this talk with my son just a few minutes ago. Thank you, Siobhan. I appreciate that. I just told my children, racism is still here, and stop letting people call you. And yes, let's start with each other, because we didn't create this N-word. And I don't care if I don't say nigga, I say nigga. No, the GGA, we got to stop. Because there's no other race of people on the planet that will take a racial slur that somebody else used against them, and we want to try to remix it and take away its power. That word, that N-word, was the last thing that many of your ancestors heard before the life was choked out of them when they were lynched, while they were literally, the life was being squeezed out of their body. When they were hanging, they were lynched and hanging from that tree. The last things they heard before they died, hanging from those trees, was the N-word. Many of your ancestors were hearing that word when they were being raped by the plantation owners. Emmett Till, those were some of the last words he heard before they murdered him and threw his body in that damn river. So no other race of people will take the racial slurs that a whole nother race uses against them and use it as a term of endearment. So I'm with you, Siobhan. Stop that shit. And Siobhan, please, clip this. Pull this clip, this piece of video. Send it to your children. Because they got the power. We're going to use it. Tell them to tune in. I'm going to coach them up. I'll tell them how to use it. All right. The Geno Jones Show brought to you by CojoLLC.com. Courtney Johnson, tomorrow, yes, it's a brand new segment. She debuted it about a month ago. Tomorrow, she will come back. As a matter of fact, she's got a guest, so we got a surprise. She's going to have somebody with her in Courtney's Corner. She is a real estate and I'm going to say commercial insurance. So she's a real estate and insurance expert. So if you're looking to buy a home, sell a home, need advice about what you need to do to buy or sell a home, or if your business, because she is an insurance expert, she specializes in insurance for your business. So your business needs new insurance, or you're about to start a business, or maybe you have a business, but you're like, oh, I got to get some insurance for my business. So Courtney Johnson, she's the expert. She'll be in tomorrow. So make sure you watch, tune in, 7:30, we go live, and she will answer any questions you have. Just jump in my chat room, put your questions right there, and you can learn more. Any questions, you can go to CojoLLC.com. C-O-J-O, Courtney Johnson. C-O-J-O-L-L-C, Courtney Johnson. It is so important. So please support the Geno Jones Show. Thank you with your likes, with your comments in the comment section. Please copy and paste the link. You can share it, share and tag this episode, and support the show financially. You can do it Zelle or you can Cash App. Now, if you want to support the show via Zelle, use my email address, GenoJonesShow@gmail, GenoJonesShow@gmail, or you can Cash App the show, $Dad G Jones, capital D, lowercase a, lowercase d, capital G, capital J, lowercase O-N-E-S. No amount is too small or too large. It's greatly appreciated. Once again, tell everybody, Siobhan and everybody, subscribe to my channel. I am about 90 new subscribers away from becoming a YouTube partner. That means that YouTube will monetize my media company and it will monetize my YouTube channel. I think they do it every month. So I'll get that YouTube bag. It is so important that we support all Black-owned businesses and institutions, and it is so important that we support Black-owned media because we are all we got. But we are all we need, and we got everything we need. To Siobhan's children, we got everything we need. We're going to come together. Like I said, you don't believe it? Ask Target. They know we got the power. $2 trillion in spending power. That's a lot of money. Spending power we have. Used to spend $12 million a day in Target. All they have to round. They got rid of their DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. So we anti-DEI'd our money. That's how we're going to do this. So anti-DEI, so am I. So are we. So we're going to anti-DEI our talent and our treasure. We're going to take our money and our talent. Our sons, our daughters, our grandchildren, they're not going to these major white universities. They ain't playing for Florida or Alabama or Notre Dame or Ohio State or Michigan or Southern Cal. And I love Southern Cal. I almost went to school out there. Or Texas or Oklahoma or Georgia, them Bulldogs. No, we ain't playing for none of y'all. Auburn, nope, we're not doing it. We're not. Penn State, Clemson, North Carolina, University of North Carolina. Now we ain't. No, Florida State, we're gonna tap out. We're not messing with nothing. Nebraska, it don't matter. You anti-DEI wouldn't be. If you really about that anti-DEI life, then show me. Be about that anti-DEI life. So don't do anything with us. So we're going to anti-DEI our money and our talent. We're going to see how that works out. Let's anti-DEI the NFL and the NBA and get the Afro-Latino brothers. Y'all need to anti-DEI Major League Baseball along with the American brothers. And the Asian brothers need to figure it out because they don't love y'all either. Trust me. All right. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you live Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Thank you for watching, everybody. Please make sure that you leave your comments below. That's so important. YouTube looks at it. Please share this episode. Copy and paste the link. Share it on everybody's page. Tag everybody's page. Once again, thank you for joining the conversation. The show is interactive, so make sure you get in the conversation that goes on every night that I'm in my chat room. And thank everybody for watching me live. Thank everybody. Thank you to all those that are watching the recorded version. Whenever you're watching this show, I love you. Absolutely, positively, unconditionally love you and God. Most of all, thank you for letting me do the Geno Jones Show, brought to you by KojoLLC.com. Buy a home, you want to sell a home, you need insurance for your business, Courtney Johnson, KojoLLC.com. Markel Bailey, the official barber and hairstylist for the Geno Jones Show. Check him out on Instagram, Kelby Cutting Up, KELBECUTTINUP. Allie Jones, the wardrobe consultant. Check her out, LX.NCL_. LX.NCL_. We'll see you Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.